Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals, and I'm going to do a video or show you a video of using some new, to me, products from LindysGang. And it was pretty funny because I shot it of me and I had never used it. I thought, well, I'll just shoot a video while I experiment, and it was not what I thought at all, and so I was in complete shock. And so there's like silence because I'm spraying this stuff on the paper and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this? What is going on? So anyway, after it dried and everything, all was fine and I understand it now. So I've gone back and reshot a video now that I know what I'm doing, sort of. So anyway, here it is. Okay, hi everybody. This is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals. And so today I'm going to redo a video that I shot the other day. I'm going to show you how I use these LindysGang sprays. They're called Moon Shadow Mist, and there's like a lavender, blue, green, blue, silver, and gold. And so I did this the other day and I'd never used these before, and what made me even notice this brand or this thing was I saw a multimedia cover on a journal that somebody did. It was a mermaid cover, and it had this really rich blue-green, just shimmery. It's just so pretty. So I asked the girl what she used, and she said she used Lindy's. Well, when I went to the website, they have a lot of choices. So I chose this Moon Shadow Mist just from little swatches on the website. So I didn't really know what was going to happen. So I decided to turn the camera on while I was experimenting, and it was like I was so shocked I couldn't even speak. So the video's like long pauses of no talking because I'm like thinking to myself, what in the world have I got myself into? Well, so when you spray them on, they just look like brown. All of them look dark brown, and you don't really see hardly any color at all. And it looks really ugly, and I thought, oh my gosh, what is this stuff? And here's another thing. I had used Tim Holtz Distress Oxide sprays, and I never could get them to look very good. I was not impressed with them at all. And then I finally read somewhere that somebody took gesso and put gesso on the paper first, then went over it with the oxide sprays. And this is the Tim Holtz spray over gessoed paper. And they came out really pretty. And so I thought, well, maybe I better do that with these, because I was using my pages from my kit. I do, as you know, probably, I sell this digital kits online, and this, I didn't want it to bleed through to my design pages. So the ones that I was going to use this on, I thought, well, I'm going to gesso them. So I gessoed 4, I guess. So before I did that, I took some plain scratch paper that I had used other things on to try these out on. And so that was my first try with these Lindy sprays. And I sprayed the paper and it was horrible. It looked terrible. And they were all like brown, looked like dirty dishwater or something. It's just awful. And they all look the same. And I was like, what do I say? I don't understand this. What have I done? And so I went ahead, since I had already had these gessoed pages, I thought, well, maybe it'll be different on the gessoed paper. So these were the ungessoed paper, just scratch papers. But when they dried, then I could see how pretty this stuff actually is. And I hope you can see it, but it's got this blue shimmer and it's in a pattern that's really pretty. And here's a gold and the blue. And so they came out okay, but so then I sprayed these pages of mine on the back that were gessoed, and they were horrible looking, but I let them dry And after they dried, I love them so much. They're so pretty. They do this kind of lacy, I hope you can see it, this kind of lacy patterning. And they have the shimmer to them. They've got, this has the blue-green, not as much, but a little bit. This one has more. And I just think they're gorgeous. And so to me, what they look like are like if you did tea staining or coffee staining on your paper, but it was like perfect and wonderful and on steroids and beautiful. That's what these look like. So I think in my mind, that's what I'm going to use them for, is to sort of do it like a tea staining on the paper. And so this one I already have a pocket on over it, but you can see the blue in that, hopefully. So I love this stuff now that I understand what it does. And I think that it's probably, you know, that's where the name Moon Shadow comes in on these, because they're all dark. And I know they have other ones, I think, that probably are not dark. So if you don't want the dark, try another set. So what I thought I would do, and so then I thought, well, let me spray some on just plain cardstock. And I did that a little while ago. And it is pretty. After it dries, it's still got some wet spots. It's pretty, but it doesn't have as much iridescence, and it doesn't make that lacy pattern as well as it did when I had the gesso on it. So what I'm going to do is gesso these and let them dry, and then I'm going to spray them. And so this will be, it's kind of a, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Kind of a long process, because you've got to gesso basically both sides, I think, if you want the pretty lacy pattern. And I'm just using gesso from Walmart. And I'm just going to use like a credit card type thing. And I'm just scraping it all over it really thin. So barely, really barely has any on it, I would say. I probably have enough to do both sides, but I can't do that since it's wet. So I'm just scraping off the excess, and then I'm going to let that dry. And do this one real quick. And I think I'll get one more piece of paper, because it looks like I've got enough to do 3 sheets. But boy, this was it was hilarious when I started to edit that first video I shot, because I was like, I knew there was just silence because I didn't know what to say. And it was like, oh my gosh. And then of course I figured it out, but I had to laugh, and I thought, okay, I've got to redo this properly and go back and explain myself. Okay, so there's 3 sheets. So I'm gonna let those dry, and then I will come back and spray it on those. Okay, I brought these back. They're pretty dry, and it's the good thing about doing this really thin coat of gesso is it dries like within about 5 minutes. You could use a blower to dry it, but that is up to you. So here's the gold, and so I'm just gonna let some splatter, and this is the turquoise, which is my favorite. See how it comes out just brown? They all look alike. I'll put quite a bit of that. And this is the blue, the Buccaneer Bay Blue. Did I shake that good? Gotta shake them up really good. Probably not. Okay, I'm going to go over that just a little bit more. Make sure I got plenty of... Yeah, there it is. You can kind of see it. But you can also see why I was horrified. And this just kind of looks like dirty dishwater. And it does these little circle things on the gesso, I notice sometimes, which is fine. I think it's kind of interesting. This is the silver. Okay, so, you know, you can see it's not very impressive looking, but after it dries, well, that's the, actually, yeah, that's the, so anyway, so that's that. That's the LindysGang sprays. So thanks for watching. If you like my video, click like. Think about subscribing. That would be awesome. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.